Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your weekly general tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Remember, these are general readings. This is a general overview reading for all of us, right? This is the general energies, trends, and themes that we're likely to see over the course of the week. All of this is always informed by my personal intuitive message. So every week I go into my intuition and I will ask what it is that we need to know for the week ahead. Sometimes it's like a feeling, sometimes it's a thought or an impression, sometimes it's a symbol, and all of that gets translated into a weekly message, which I write down and then keep to relay to you. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path, or should I say us on our paths, to our highest vibrational good. So this week, the weekly general, or should I say the intuitive message, was that this is a week for wishes, right? And so what I saw in my head was a person that was blowing out candles, right? And what I understood from that is it's not necessarily somebody's birthday that I'm looking at. What it looks like is this is a week for wishes. So if there is some secret wish in your heart, if there's something that you have desired, if there's something that you've been holding on for, if there's something that you've been crossing your fingers and toes waiting for, this week it does suggest that your wish is being fulfilled. So in some way, shape, or form, whatever it is that you have hoped and wished for, it is on its way to you. And I think we will all be very glad for that. On the wider world stage, this does make me wonder if something that we have collectively waited for to come to an end, or to see the close of, or maybe even just to see a resolution for, I believe, okay, so there's the jumping card, I believe that will start this week, right? And whoa, look at that, right? So we've got the gate 15 and humanity. This is known as a love gate in human design. My wonderful friend Denise Matthew always talks about this as being about the love of humanity, and I really do believe that this week I think we're going to see that wish fulfilled in some regard. Maybe it's not the end of all wars or anything like that, but I do feel like there's going to be some kind of progress that is made for all of us. What this also tells me is that in some regard our communities, the communities that we are a part of, the communities that we're connected to, are going to come through for us, and that might have something to do with us leading the way in some regard. This can also represent, because it's like a love gate, this can be that there is an element of this about relationships, partnerships, and connections of all kinds. So if you've been waiting for some kind of resolution or reconciliation, this week could go a long way to creating that. When it comes to our oh, come on, brain, destiny energies, or we've got the Tower card. Okay, so surprising moments with the Three of Swords and the Five of Wands, right? So it's an interesting set of cards, and it kind of almost suggests that the reason that we get to this experience is through some hard moment, right? So the Tower card with the Three of Swords, that can be a sudden ending, completion. It could be, I'm really sorry to say, a touch wood, and I hope I'm wrong, it is a possibility that we could see a death of some sort that has all of them, right? In some regard, you know, in some regard, all of them can have or should have some kind of, you know, in regards to death, all deaths are sad, right? They all are. Even the ones where, you know, the person was long for it, and, you know, they had been going through a long battle, etc. You know, we feel them all, right? No death is happy. But there are some that shock us, that scare us, that frighten us, that really sort of, you know, we look at them and we think, wow, you know, this is the worst of what humanity can be. I really hope that I'm wrong, but this does suggest, because the Five of Wands card would be a group. And so this may be, you know, the loss of, or the death of a group of some sort that really has the world sort of stop for a moment and take stock. And that may very well lead to some kind of moment where we collectively say, okay, this needs to stop now and this needs to end. I mean, it should never have started in the first place when we see some of the situations happening in the world at the moment. but this might be a marked moment that really sort of stops us all in our tracks to say like, whoa, this is, this is a lot more, it's always serious, but do you know what I mean? It's like, I can't explain it any better than that. It just might be a moment that has us all kind of collectively say, okay, we need to do something here, right? Needs to be some kind of intervention. For us on a personal level, the Tower card with the Three of Swords is the ending or the release of, and with the Five of Wands, this could be us parting ways with a group of people. This could be us releasing a friendship circle. This could see us letting go of friendship ties, or group connections, or even familial ties that we kind of think, you know what, this has come to its sort of natural conclusion. And with that love of community and love of family, even, you might look at some of your group associations and say, this no longer feels like a family, this no longer feels like that. And so you go in search of something better. You go in search of, or start to create, what you personally see as a much more sort of collected and collective kind of wisdom space. So they're not easy cards, I have to say. So if we have a look at the insight cards, we've got the Two of Swords, we've got the Nine of Swords, and we've got the Ace of Wands, right? So truly through dialogue, and for those of you that have been, although this is a heavier reading, for those of you that have waited for or really feel like you need some form of justice, that may be the wish that is granted to you this week. If you feel like you've had a wrong that's been done, or something that's been kind of needed, or whatever the case might be, this may go a long way for that. That Two of Swords with the Nine of Swords, something that has caused mental frustration or possibly even heartache. With that Ace of Wands, there's a righting of a wrong here, and there is justice to be had. That's a very loaded statement. So, I would say, like, on a personal level, see what that means, and then look to consider what it might mean on a global scale. That Ace of Wands with the Nine of Swords also suggests that we're finding a solution this week to something that has given us a lot of mental anguish, and we see something effectively come to what we would consider a satisfactory close. Maybe not the best one that we would like for or hope for, but definitely one that is satisfactory. And I will say as well, if you've been very in your head or very in your mind about a certain situation, this does suggest that that will come to a close now. So, these are, in terms of our, that you've got the destiny energy, the direction energy, and the insight. So how do we best utilize this energy? By really allowing new energy in, and also finding the point at which we allow joy to come back in, right? Ultimately, love, creativity, humanity, these are all things that really are expressions of joy. And that Ace of Wands is a very hopeful energy, right? It asks us to kind of look to, where can we find the joy? Where can we find the pleasure? Where is it that we can remember what it is to have those things in our lives, or to have them be a part of our lives? It's a really big question, right? In the face of all that is challenging, are you able to look beyond that and find the happiness, to find the joy? And also, when it comes to, releasing one community in favor of going into another one, it's not necessarily about replacing, oh, well, this doesn't make me feel good, so I'm just going to get rid of it and get a new one. It's about really understanding where you are honored, where you are valued. And if you don't have that, and it's not something that you can go into, maybe you're the person that's creating that, right? I've said this to so many of my clients. They're like, Raf, I hear you when you say I need to find my tribe, but how do I do that? Sometimes we're not meant to find a tribe. Sometimes we're meant to build one, right? This is what happened for me. And I don't say this in like a, oh, look at me, I'm so marvelous kind of way. I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't know, like, the people that I need, they're not here. So you know what? I started Reydiant Reality, yes, to help people and to share messages and to read tarot and stars and numbers, to do all of those things. but the community that has come out of Radiant Reality, or the Radiant Nation, as Rafi likes to call it, is really what this has truly been about, right? And I'm thankful for you guys in ways that you can't even imagine. So sometimes you're meant to be the person that builds the tribe. Sometimes you're meant to be the person that is, at the forefront of it all. And I have to say, even though, some of you I know very personally, right? Because you've taken courses with me, or we talk on Instagram, or, like we've swapped emails, we've collaborated, whatever the case might be. Some of you I know, not as closely, but from the comments, and whenever I do my live streams, you're kind of always there, and you show up. So I started Radiant Reality. I always say this, right? I started Radiant Reality, but it's you guys that make it what it is. And so this week it may very well be that. Now, whatever this is, if it comes about in a way that feels unjust, these cards, the insight cards as to what comes next, suggest that justice will be done in whatever way, shape or form the universe really sees fit. So it'll be an interesting week this week. Outside of that, sometimes that is the wish fulfilled. That, what, universe, I just need some form of justice and I deserve it. And it looks like this week you will get your wish, all right, whatever that means to you on a personal level. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a wonderful week, as wonderful as it can possibly be. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I love that you guys send me articles and links, and you say, like, Raf, you said this would happen, and look, this is how it's shown up in the world. Even I am still astounded at the stuff that comes out of these. And, just recently I had one where... because I record these in batches, right? So sometimes they're like weeks old before they get out into the world. And then when people say to me, like, oh, by the way, you said this would happen and look what's happening, that for me, like, it's still mind-blowing at this point. I kid you not. With that said, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.